Welcome back, everybody, to the daily show where I'll be doing technical analysis on the stock market. So, before we get started, please hit that like button. And if you're new here and watching and not subscribed to the channel, definitely subscribe to the channel for all the updates. And if you want to get my daily trade ideas, swing trade ideas, live trading, and all kinds of setups, definitely check out my link down in the description for Patreon. And for that, you get lots of trade ideas. I'm going to share a few here. Not gonna share anything on my swing channel or even on my day trades. Gonna share what my Patreon members posted today, and you can see all these positions right here. Here's one man that actually got all that I'm actually holding, and you can see GDX. We shorted gold, puts paid on calls. We've been holding that one. GM, we got in at 45. Today it's 50. Apple calls, FedEx, 240 calls, pretty much going in the money. We bought low. We pretty much caught a $30+ move on that trade. This one from yesterday, NEO, Starbucks, Spotify, Dow Jones, SMH, all up $7,500. You got more. We took IWM puts today. It was a day trade, and that one also paid about 40%. Apple, you can see Mike also killing it out there. GM calls. You got Meta weekly puts 50%. That was at opening. You can see right here. FedEx right here getting 100%. Apple 70%. We got IWM 70%. And Hims, I think that's his own trade, but again, it just paid, right? Apple calls right here. You got Nike. That's a big position that I've been holding. Sold half of my position today. It was really good. And then you got Apple calls $5,000 right here. You got Apple, GM, Target, Nike, GDX, Neo, $7,000 profit. More Apple right here. And here's Supra again hitting out of the park. And he can actually go and afford a brand new Supra out of the showroom with that money right here. $70,000. And I think mostly it was Apple here for Supra. So all these trade ideas are available on Patreon. And you can go and check out their link down in the description. Now, what do we have here on market? You can see, I mean, there is a trade deal going on, but China still, they have to deal with 30%. In some cases, they're still high. And again, I mean, walking back, Trump put all these tariffs on all these countries, 90-day pause on the all the other countries, and then followed by 90-day pause with China because, things are gonna backfire. So, now walking back and, uh, actually taking those tariffs off, and it's at a at a lower rate right now. So what happened today? Well, you can see fear and greed index. We're back to greed. I mean, it was just here. Sell. It's gone. Everything. Doomsday is here, and now, oh, I'm bullish. The greed is back. You can see right here how quickly it flipped, guys. It took only about 4 weeks, and market near all-time highs again. We got some data coming out tomorrow, inflation, CPI, and Trump is already saying that everything is down, low, inflation and everything. We'll see if that number is cooked up tomorrow, or we get some real numbers tomorrow on that CPI right here. Stock market, what we did today? Well, Dow is up nearly 3%. Nasdaq closed up at the high of the day, up over 4%. S&P going up 3.26%, and Russell going up 3.52%. 11 sectors that makes up S&P 500. You can see utilities definitely taking a beating, consumer defensive, and then everything else pretty much in the green. And it's a risk on move. We got consumer cyclical, technology, industrials, communication services leading the way on top. Stock market map. We got green across the board pretty much except utilities and telecom services right here. You can see some things are down, but Nvidia up over 5%. You got Google up 3.37%, Meta up nearly 8%. Then we have Amazon going up 8%, Tesla up 6.75%, Apple up whopping 6.17%. And that was a big trade that I had. It was fantastic. Still holding 30% of my position. I only sold about 70% of those calls that I had here on Apple. Microsoft also joining the party, up 2.40% after fading early into the session, and then this thing went back up to, I think, almost 447, 448 right now. And you can see right here, big banks, Bank of America, Wells Fargo up over 3%, JPM also up close to 3%. And now let's get right into S&P 500. So before we get anywhere, I want to show you guys this right here on S&P, and this is how we do things. Well, this is the daily 200 SMA, and you can see it's sitting around 570. And what happened today, guys? Again, I'm not gonna go back and forth. I don't like to, show these things on my YouTube video. But if you guys actually watch that video, especially on big mega cap stocks, and even the last update on stock market, what did I say? That I'm expecting a massive move on Monday because there were a lot of calls got bought last week. At closing, it was 580 calls on SPY, and there were some puts, not puts, I'm sorry, calls on VIX as well. Maybe those were hedging. And boy, oh boy, did we get a mega gap up. We got that. And this is how we do things. We gapped over. You can see multiple rejection here. If you go and look at the hourly time frame, you'll see that daily 200 SMA, and we gapped over it, and now it's gone. It's gone. Just like Roy, that is $100 move, more than that, in just a matter of couple days. Another thing I want to show you guys right here, it's just insane. So S&P 500 in yearly return is like what, 10%, and look at this return in just a matter of 1 month. I mean, this is insane. 21% up in, from the top, it was down about, 23%, something like that, right? 25%. But let's just see how much we're actually down right now from the top, because it's almost near 585. And if you look at my screen, we're only down about five, not even 5%. So that's how the market works. And that's why when you see a big opportunity, you shouldn't be locking your door and turning your back on stock market. Smart money, people that are trading for a long time, we actually go and buy into these opportunities. And guess what, guys? Even today, yeah, quite a few puts that are not paying right now. Things are getting a bit overbought. They're gonna pay later. But calls exploded. Any calls that I had, you guys saw that. Not even posting my own trade. These are trades that my member took, that my members took, and they traded all these names and everything, especially calls, all of them paid. And now it's not time to go long in the market anymore. We're done with it. Now look for that higher low pullback whenever that comes. And this could be the biggest, recovery here in this market in history, or this could be the biggest bull trap. I think we're going to find out very soon. Like I said, another gap up, guys, another 3-4% gap up, and we would be trading at all-time highs. So market came back rapidly. Can we get to see some sort of, shake out the weekend's move to the downside again? Absolutely, we can. Now, if you look at my screen, there was a lot of trade right here, and the bottom of the range is 580, and today we're holding 580. So going into tomorrow's session, 580, that's gonna be key level to watch. And if we trade over 583, then we might be coming up and retesting right here. If you look at my screen, 595, middle of this range right here. Now, is it gonna go there tomorrow? Absolutely not. Maybe in a future date later. That's not happening this week. We already, blew through the weekly expected move and monthly and all that, and now it's trading inside this chop box. And then we saw that breakdown right here that actually took place. Now we get a pullback. There will be support, and we kind of saw that today. It was, I think, a 577 ish, 576. That's gonna be the key line in the sand if there is a pullback below 580. Underneath that, it might be pulling back down to 200 SMA, which is sitting right here. You can see right on my screen. And that's going to be in line with this trend line, which is the uptrend right here. And I think we can afford a higher low pullback, and forget about this as a higher low pullback right here at 546, 548. I think now the question is, do we get one, or things are just going to go straight for all-time highs? Now, don't get overly bullish and try to go and chase this. Wait for it. But I think slowly you're going to see, I mean, today was a day because of obviously Trump, saying that, oh, inflation, everything is under control, everything is coming off, we're cutting down on uh, drug prices and all that, and everything's gonna fall apart, everything would be okay. And I mean, end of the day, we all know, a lot of these inside trades happen, and I'm not blaming Trump or anything. Everybody does that, right? So the game here, guys, is not the tariff. It's not the inflation. It's puts and calls. What they're buying, if they're buying shares, or whoever bought the dip. So uh, not something I would say that Trump is going straight and trading. Obviously, as a president, you cannot do that. But we all know how that works. A lot of these people that were in government and still now there are people that are trading, insider trading, and they know the move already, so they know this move would come, and there is going to be some sort of a walk back with those tariffs, and it happened, and now you can see market gapped up and never even looked back to close some of that gap. So huge gap here to the downside, and now things are pushing straight up, and we're actually trading over daily 200 SMA for the first time after quite some times. I think it's about 2 months now, more than that. So that is the great news if you're a bull, but expect a pullback at some point. Tomorrow we have CPI, and even with that, I got some feeling that it should be higher. But if those numbers are cooked up, then forget about what I think and what you think and what the market thinks. If they're cooked up, they're gonna be cooked up and they're gonna be really fine, and market will hold up tomorrow. On triple Q, it's up over 4%, and look at the gap down here, guys, 491.54. So the gap is about almost, I would say, 16, $17 away. I mean, that is a big move to the downside, and let alone I'm not expecting that market to come back and fill this gap right now unless there is some bad news. But look at this V shape here. I mean, this is insane. 400, 402, and now we're trading over 500. And where's the all-time highs here? Well, 540, only about 30 bucks away. And even after hour, I mean, it's not up by much, but it's still green, right? Nobody's taking any profit. Everybody is extremely greedy, and you can see whenever you see things are getting below the Bollinger Band, bottom one, things pushes back up. Whenever you see things are pushing back up over upper Bollinger Band, things pull back. And what do you see right on my screen now? We're trading pretty much right on top of this Bollinger Band. Now, there is some more upside, but look at today, guys. There is going to be support here on triple Q, and that's what it was actually holding. If you look at my screen, that 503 range, it actually held today. That was previous all-time highs right here. Came down slightly under, but end of the day, I mean, pretty much closing at the high of the day near 508. So 503 can hold. Where things can go? Well, definitely, if you look at my screen, the next stop is right up here around 513 to 515. That's the next big upside target, and then obviously 520, and then all-time highs. We're not too far off from all-time highs. Now, as a trader, as an investor, what I would like to see here, some sort of a pullback, a decent pullback. I would say at least give up 3 to 5%. That would be decent for people that are waiting on the sideline. I'm not talking about myself. I made decent money on that run, decent money on this run. So I'm not missing out on anything. Now, what I would like to see, and even like, if I want to take an opportunity, I want to see that as well. But for a lot of traders that are, they thought this was the crash and now they're waiting and waiting and the market just kept, going up. I would like to see a pullback at least somewhere here, 460 to 478. That would bring in more buyers into the market as a higher low. But look at this. I mean, the last higher low pullback we got was right here, guys, 427. And these were soft higher lows, just for maybe few minutes, few hours, not even flipping into a hourly downtrend, and things were just going and recovering, within just a few hours or the same day. So since that higher low pullback here, we haven't had any higher low pullbacks. Now we're trading over daily 200 SMA and trading over a 503, huge move up. So what makes sense even in the short term, I don't know if we're going to get that pullback deep down here, that we get some sort of a pullback down here, close the gap, and let's see if we can hold over this zone right here, 493 to 491. If that holds, that might be an opportunity to ride this thing back up to the upside. If that does not hold, like I said, this could be, somewhat of a biggest bull trap or the biggest rally we're seeing. I mean, we saw that big rally already. This could be the biggest B shape we're seeing and witnessing as of, right now. It's happening in the market. So if this thing does not get that, and we just continue to grind and move higher, at some point there will be profit taking. Whether it's people that are doing inside trading, and people that are uh, just buying and selling. I mean, when things just go up and up and up, your upside is getting limited. Your profit margin are going to be less and less, because you're not going to make money up here buying here, right? So, usually, smart money, they sell, they wait for the next dip, they buy. So where is that next dip? Is it going to show up at some point? I think it's going to show up. There will be some sort of a surprise where you'll see market pulling back and giving us that opportunity, and that's the opportunity we should look into whenever we get that. Not just go and, oh boy, I am missing out. I didn't buy here. I didn't buy here, and let's just jump in and get calls right here. Trust me, there are people out there, just because they have money, they'll go and chase here because it's going to all-time highs. Let's just jump in, right? But that is not, a good thing to do right now. So stay away from chasing. If you're not in, you're not in. Just let it go. If he wants to go higher, let it go. Still, no chasing, in my view. But of course, with your money, you can do whatever you want to do. That is totally up to you guys. And now let's have a look at DIA. That's another one, got a big move today, up almost 3%. And you can see we actually, end of the day, we broke through this 423 range and now trading at almost 425. So if this thing pushes up, the next level, 428, 433. To the downside, 423 gives up. We have unfinished business down here. There is a gap and the support right here at 415 to 416 on Dow Jones. IWM, let's have a quick look. And you can see this thing just grinding and going higher. What happened today, you can see rejection here, close to 209, 210. Rejection here, and there was a rejection there before as well. That's why I have it at 210. And so far, we did not get over that level today. So we got that rejection, a pullback, but it's up, over 3.5%. So watch out if this thing pulls back into this gap right here at 202 to 200. That might be an opportunity, but would that be a good idea to chase here at 210? Absolutely not. So wait for a pullback on this one as well. VIX getting decimated, crushed, and we talked about it in my video quite a few times that under 20, yes, bull market is completely back. Now, there are some VIX calls that came in, and even today, but who knows, guys? I mean, you can really tell by seeing these VIX calls that are coming in that whether it's hedge or they're expecting a big move down. But we have to be aware of it that these calls are coming in, and this thing got a gap down. So there is a gap around 22, and now it's trading around that critical support and the lower band. So expect some sort of a counter turn rally here on VIX as long as 18 can hold. Otherwise, this thing can come down to 16 to $15, and market will press even higher. And that's all I have for you guys in this video. I'm not going to cover gold here because you guys saw that play. We shorted gold and that was fantastic. And it's actually getting a beat down today. So, nothing new on gold. I'm not going to cover, and I'll keep you guys updated going into tomorrow night. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night, everybody.